Hello my schoolers, welcome to my school channel. My name is Alexandra, and in this video we're going to be learning consonant sounds, but then we'll lay emphasis on affricate and nasal sounds. Okay, so we'll be learning all about affricate as a consonant and nasals as a consonant also. So please stay with us, do not go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. Do not forget today's topic is affricate and nasal sounds. Okay, so these are the objectives for today's lesson. We'll be learning the meaning of affricates, the meaning of nasals, how to articulate and transcribe each sound, letters of the English alphabet that can possibly represent each sound, examples of words that have each vowel sound, and then we'll be transcribing these examples, right? So let's begin with the first objective, which is the meaning of affricates. Now, what are affricates? Affricates are consonant sounds. Okay, they are consonant sounds in the sense that there is a degree of obstruction. Okay, so this degree can either be total or partial. Okay, but in the case of affricates, it's a total obstruction of the air passage. Okay, so the air passage is completely blocked by the articulators, so that air does not escape immediately. So that's what it means. For fricatives, for example, there's a partial obstruction in the sense that the articulators leave just a tiny space so that air can come out through that passage. But in this case, it is completely blocked, and then air is released gradually, and the articulators separate so that air is released gradually. Okay, so affricates are consonant sounds. Affricates are produced with a total obstruction by the articulators, and then this obstruction is slowly released so that air comes out. So there are two affricates. Okay, they are ch and j, ch and j. Okay, so let's take a look at each of these sounds. Okay, so the first affricate we have is ch, and this is a voiceless palato-alveolar affricate sound. Okay, so let's start with the state of the glottis. It is voiceless, that means there's no vibration here. And then we have the place of articulation, which is palato-alveolar, and we said palato-alveolar involves the front part of the tongue. Do not forget that the front part of the tongue is not the same as the tip of the tongue. Okay, so the front part of the tongue touches the hard palate, and then the side or the blade of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge, which is also called the teeth ridge. Okay, so it produces voiceless palato-alveolar sound. Okay, so we can find it in the word cheer, ch, cheer, teacher, teach. So we can find it in initial position, the medial position, which is middle, and the final position. Okay, so let's take a look at examples, more examples of words with the sound, the letters of the English alphabet that represents the sound. Let's head to the board. Okay, so the first one we'll be considering is ch, and ch can be articulated as ch, and we can find that in the word chief, chief. And the next is charge, and the word shoes, and the word chalk. Okay, the next is letter T in the word fortune, in the word features, in the word posture. Okay, posture. Okay, so in the word lecture. Notice that U-R-E is articulated as the short sound. So this is a tip, U-R-E, okay? So the next is T-C-H in the word watch. In the word march. In the word beach. And lastly, in the word stitch. So there are more examples that you can explore. So find more examples and transcribe them. Okay, so I would like to draw your attention to something. This sound is different from this, and is also different from this. So these are three different sounds. So when you see that this sound is used together like this, as in this, and the other ones we have up here, it is this sound, the ch sound, an affricate, a palato-alveolar affricate sound. So many students often mistake this sound with this or this and say, okay, this sound combines this and this. Though it combines it, but it serves as one sound. So once you see it together, just know it's one sound, and don't separate it and say, okay, this word is made up of this sound and this sound separately, okay? So this is a plosive sound, this is a fricative sound. So they are different, okay? So please, let's take note of this. Okay, so let's move to the next consonant sound, which is J. So this is a voiced palato-alveolar fricative. Voiced in the sense that the state of the glottis, there is no vibration, right? Then palato-alveolar will mean that the front part of the tongue touches the hard palate, and then the blade of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge to create that obstruction, right? Then we know what affricate is, right? Now, we can find that in the word joke, the initial position with the letter of the alphabet J, and we have it in the medial position, the middle position G, and we can have it also at the final position, okay? So we have joke, charger, large, okay? So there's a vibration here. Now you notice that the difference between these two sounds is the fact that one is voiced and the other is voiceless. It has the same place of articulation and the same manner of articulation. So this should guide you in the articulation of the sound and the difference between these two sounds, right? So let's take a look at more examples of words that have this sound, and then look at the letters of the English alphabet that can represent the sound. Let's head towards the board. Okay. So the first one we'll consider is letter J in the word judge. And we have judge. Sorry. Okay. Then the next one is jam. The next is journey. Okay. Notice that DG is also articulated as G, and we are going to look at that in a bit. Okay. So the next is letter G in the word age. Right. Next is large. Next is gem. Next is cage. Next is giant. Giants. Next is GG. Okay? GG in the word suggest. Suggest. Okay? GG in the word exaggerate. Exaggerate. 8. Okay. So next is letter DG. Okay, used together in the word barge. Right? DG in the word judge. Sorry. judge. DG in the word dodge. DG in the word knowledge. Okay, so next is DJ. Okay, DJ used together in the word adjust. Okay, adjust. In the word adjacent. 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 DJ in the word adjourn. Adjourn. DJ in the word adjective. And lastly, DI in the word soldier. Soldier. Good. So these are the transcription for this word, so you can find more examples and transcribe them, get familiar with the sound. Also, take note that this sound is different from this and this. So don't make the mistake that this sound, okay, is a combination of these two. Yes, it's a combination of these two, but it serves as one consonant sound. So do not separate it and say, okay, break it down and say, okay, this sound is, this word, for example, is made out of d and this separately. So once you see them together like this, just know it is one consonant sound and it is this one, not this, not this. So these are three different consonant sounds. So please take note of them. Okay, now let's take a look at the nasal sounds, but before we do that, I'll have to pause right here for you to subscribe to the longer version of this video that I've prepared for you. All you need to do is you click on the link in the description below, which takes you to the My School website. There you'll be required to subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe so that you can enjoy the rest of today's objectives. Thank you for staying tuned. Do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.